Wim Hof Method or Wim Hof breathing. I'm sure you've heard of it. The Iceman has become very popular, and rightfully so. I started the breathing exercises during the pandemic. I've been doing them ever since, and it was one of the best ideas of my life. There are plenty of tutorials available. I suggest you go to the official Wim Hof website. There is also a great 5-minute tutorial on YouTube, which I will link. Simply try the breathing exercise. I've been doing it ever since. I occasionally also take cold baths. It's easiest in Austria in winter. There are a couple of experiences that I have learned over the years, which I want to share with you. So whether you're new to Wim Hof breathing and want to try it, or whether you've been doing it for a couple of years, maybe you can relate. The method as such is very simple. You basically take a deep breath. Wim always points out that it's important to fill the whole body up with air. So you breathe deeply into your stomach. Then you feel your lungs, and then you feel your mouth. And then you let the breath out again. You repeat that for 10, 20, 30, I usually do it 40 times. And the important part is no interruption, no break between inhalation and exhalation. So you do it in one go. There's an app that is immensely helpful to learn the right rhythm. And as you keep doing this a couple of times, what occurs is some intentional hyperventilation. So your body is filling up with oxygen and with air. And then when you're finished with a breathing cycle, you exhale, and then you hold your breath for as long as feels comfortable, or for as long as you want to do it. And then you do another round. I usually do 4 rounds every morning, and you will see that amazing things happen. We are a very competitive species. So for a lot of people, it's all about how long can I hold my breath. That's not the important part. Whether you hold your breath for 20 seconds or 5 minutes, some people do it even longer. That's not the point. One thing that I learned is the amount of time that you can hold your breath after exhalation is very closely related to your personal level of relaxation. So when you're stressed, when you have a lot of work to do, maybe it will be harder to relax. You cannot force it, you need to ease your body into it. I visited a couple of official workshops by Wim Hof certified trainers. It's an excellent idea if you want to dive deeper into the method. But the important part is to just start and try it. And as you can see, I have a yoga mat here. You can do this breathing exercise in almost any position except standing up. You can sit comfortably in a chair, but the best way is usually to lie down. You can put your hands on your stomach, because especially in the beginning, it's very important that you keep the rhythm and you suck the air in very deeply. In a lot of videos about the breathing method, I've heard a lot of pro and contra arguments for breathing through the nose versus breathing through the mouth. What Wim always says, it's important that you completely fill up, get the air in, I don't care through which hole. Again, personally, especially when I do it in the morning, I always breathe in through my mouth. Nose might feel better for you. Simply try and experiment. It's free. Lying down relaxedly, preferably in nature, like next here to my walnut tree. That's a great way, but you really can do it everywhere. In the hotel room, in your bed before going to sleep, on any couch. One thing that I personally like a lot is doing Wim Hof breathing in my hammock. I'm not completely sure why, but I think it has a bit to do with this rocking motion that is very, very relaxing. Lying down in my hammock always leads to very long retention times. Capri loves the hammock too. Right. There is one more step to the exercise. So after the breathing cycle, after holding your breath, after the last exhalation, when you feel ready, you again take a deep breath, hold your breath and pressure your blood up into your head for a couple of seconds. In order to get all this right, there is an app available, an official app with a timer and a counter and also music. And that brings me to another important point. Whatever you do, make sure you're lying down comfortably and you can go undisturbed without any dogs jumping into your hammock. As you begin the exercise, in my case, this was immediately a very, very intense experience. It can get spacey. I know this breathing exercise releases a lot of internal brain chemistry, trippy, spacey, strong emotions. You might be incapacitated for a couple of seconds. Make sure that you don't roll off and there is a cliff next to you or something like that. Just do it in a relaxed position. I've shown this breathing exercise to friends many times, and one question I always get asked, are the ice baths necessary? Don't rob yourself of that experience. Swimming in cold water is great. I know it's quite tedious to set up a barrel, put all the ice in there. It's tedious in the summer, but in the winter time, when you're close to a cold body of water, it doesn't need to be frozen. Rivers in wintertime in Europe are fine. Just try it out. It's a great feeling. And of course, cold showers are a great idea as well. They might deter you a little bit in the beginning, but it's also something that you can get used to very easily. Of course, depends on where you're living. Cold shower in Vienna is a different story from a cold shower in Spain. As we live in southern Burgenland, I don't go to the sauna that much, especially not in summer. But one of the reasons to visit a sauna or even a day spa for me are these ice baths that they often have, for the people coming out from the sauna to cool off. That's actually a great way to do an occasional cold plunge, even when the weather is hot, like now in August. Personally, it helps me a lot to close my eyes while doing the breathing and during the retention phase. Also, shut off your old brain box. That sounds easier than it is to do, but believe me, when you do the breathing, it's really easy to fully concentrate on your breath, to make sure that you suck in all the air that you can suck in, that there are no breaks between the breaths. Wim sometimes uses the phrase, make your breathing like waves, rolling in, rolling out, no pause. When the wave hits the shore, there is no pause, it instantly retracts. That's the way you should breathe. And also, when you breathe in, you want to use a lot of force, you use all that muscles to fill your body with air, like so. When you breathe out, don't do it with force, because as you fill up your body, there's tension, and just let the air float out naturally. It's a bit hard to explain. You'll understand a lot better when you try yourself. Simply counting your breath is always an option, but in the beginning I found it pretty difficult to concentrate on counting and at the same time to fully concentrate on my breathing movements. And that's why I find it super, super helpful to do the first couple of sessions with an accompanying video or with the app. Why is it difficult to count to 40, you may ask? Because sometimes you lose track, you really lean into the breathing. I'm not a great multitasker. When I fully concentrate on the breath, the breathing, sometimes counting slips. That was the case for me in the beginning. Now, after a couple of years, I have a very, very good feeling when the 40 breaths are over. Sometimes I don't even count, I just do it intuitively. If you're doing the breath work yourself, you might have similar experiences than me or completely different ones. Please share them in the comments. Try out Wim Hof breathing. It helped me so much. I think it has helped a lot of people immensely to increase their strength, health and happiness. as Wim always says. So dear Wim, thank you very much for everything you're doing and for everything you have done.